Sky Squad, we are back in the building and we have got some things to talk about in this video. I actually was intending to save this story for a second, but it just so happened to be popped up first. So let's go ahead and dive right into the Marlo of it all and the Drew and Latoya confronting Marlo. So shout out to our friends over at Reality Chat for presenting this information. And now we are going to provide our commentary on what we see. But the first thing that I want you guys to I really want you guys to get into the first thing that Drew says in this. I'm not going to play the entire clip because it is the property of, Bravo, NBC, Universal. So we just want to respect that. But I want you guys to hear something that really just irks my soul. And then we'll get into the rest of this, right?
I'm starting to get worried that Candy's going to put me in the dungeon and throw away the key.
So I guess I feel like in this moment, I feel like, it's yet again another example to me of Drew, attempting to shade Candy by using something that had been previously used against Candy. And I just don't like it because the insinuation there is similar to the insinuation that Candy was essentially trying to groom her into accepting or wanting or kissing another woman for the sake of being in this production. And that to me just, I don't know, I don't like it. I feel like it's too close to the prior situation, which, I don't really feel like anybody really appreciated, even though Candy made lemonade out of lemons. Lemonade. Okay. I don't know. It just seems like Drew is, I don't like that she's relying on that. But let me know what you guys think. I could be overly sensitive to that because I did feel like it was such a huge thing at that time. So let me know what you guys think about it in the chatterization down below. The other thing that I find odd about this whole situation is that, so in the clip, Don Juan goes to grab Marlo from the group, and Marlo's like, well, why is it just me that's going? Take Sheree. She's the strongest one or whatever. So Marlo heads over to the rest of the ladies, and you can see that actually here. And it's basically Drew, Candy, and Latoya. And in this conversation, Drew and Latoya are essentially confronting Marlo for sending over the video of Drew denying that she ever kissed Latoya. Now, I don't know because Candy's right there and Candy has asserted that she saw it happen. Marlo has asserted that she saw it happen, or at least she's 80% or 90% sure she saw it happen. And, the fact of the matter is, do I really care? No. But I do think, do I think anybody cares? Not really. Okay. But I also feel like true enough, Marlo shouldn't have probably sent that to Latoya. But as I stated in my earlier video, I feel like if she did send it to Latoya and to Latoya corroborated your story, I mean, the intent might have been shady, but the end result backed up your claim. So what the problem is? And I feel like confronting Marlo in this way basically just further drives this narrative home that something really did happen. And in this clip, we don't see, okay, whether or not Latoya actually admits it. She just describes her experience of receiving the video from Marlo. So in that sense, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, because this was already up, I was not able to give you guys the spoiler alert that I like to give. So please charge that to my mind and not my heart, because I got class in a minute and I'm trying to get this video done. And I wanted to make sure that you guys had the information and my commentary on it, because I also want to know your commentary on it. Is Marlo the scapegoat in this situation, especially when it comes to Drew? I mean, again, granted, for real, for me, Drew kissing Latoya, it ain't really a big deal to me, but it ain't got to be a big deal to me. The only person has got to be a big deal for is Drew. I think the better thing that Drew should have done, or at least what I would have recommended that she do, is simply say, I can't recall. Because typically that is what works. And when people take the witness stand, I don't recall. I can't recall. I don't recall. I don't remember that. Who can argue with your memory? At the end of the day, I don't remember. Oops, I don't remember. I can't remember. Well, there was a lot of drinks involved. I mean, did I? I don't know. Oh my God. Did we? Girl, was it good? She could have played it off like that, and I felt like it would have been a lot better. But again, if Drew comes from, it seems like a very religious family. She's a married woman. So I understand also the desire to keep that sort of situation hidden. But the problem is, in the season that it happened, it had already been talked about ad nauseum by most of the cast, okay, except for Portia. I think everybody else and their mama had already told us that they kissed, including Latoya. So if Latoya goes back on that now, she's gonna look like a liar. Period. But let me know what you think. Side note, I do feel like Latoya was gone too soon. Okay. Also, new tea. If you head on over to the Peach Report, you will see a clip of Cynthia Bailey, and she's got a confessional for this season. Oh, yes, Cynthia's back, not only shaking the table, okay, not really, but she's actually got a confessional. So it is good to see Cynthia back on the screen because she looks amazing. Okay. Now let's get into the other news that I really wanted to get into first. All right. So, NeNe Leakes' son, Bryson, is ordered to stay in jail until 2024 after his recent arrest. Oh, man, this situation, it's just bad. According to Radar Online and our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk, he's going to be in the Gwinnett County Jail until January 2024. Now, a police spokesperson told Radar Online that he will be locked up for at least 152 more days. And then you guys know that he was arrested last month and charged with a felony possession of something and a misdemeanor, something that starts with an F, and a misdemeanor for loitering and prowling. So when he was arrested, y'all know he ended up giving his younger brother's name, Brent, during the questioning. So I guess he was trying to pretend like he was Brent. I don't know how he felt like that would work. So he ended up catching another charge for lying about his identity to the police officer. So then when the police ran his name, they apparently noticed that he was wanted for violating his probation for a separate case. So it's a lot of things happening right here. Now, I read a comment that said God is saving his life. I hope time will allow him to truly understand that. I mean, I guess the problem is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show 60 Days In, but these people on it, you can watch it on Netflix. These people go into the jail and prison systems, and forgive me if I'm confusing or conflating the two terms because I really don't have knowledge of the difference of it right now. I do know that prison is typically a longer term sentence, I would think. But anyway, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, and I know, and I know some people will. Okay. Um, but what I do know is that there's oftentimes ways that these things also find their way into the jail and prison system. So I know that for a lot of people, they think that, him being locked up will be a thing that saves him. But there's often times when these things find their way into the prison system as well. So that would be my concern. I think that the best thing for him will be for him when he gets out to enter a long-term facility. But I'm not an expert. I'm not you know, um, I'm not a counselor, psychiatrist, a coordinator or of any sort. But I am someone who has family members that have had these similar experiences. And I feel like the only thing that is going to really provide him with a cure is himself. And he's going to need to do the work in order to get out on the other side. Now, maybe the positive that will come of this is that this, stay in jail until 2024 allows him to see a different life for himself and to put in the work to do and be better. You know what I'm saying? Because we want him to be able to be there and be the father that he can be for his kids, the son that he can be for NeNe, and the brother that we would want him to be for his brother. So that was the tea that we wanted to bring to you guys today, and the commentary regarding the news. I will place the links in the description down below so you can watch that clip of Real Housewives of Atlanta, the preview, and then I will put a link to the article in the description down below for NENE Leaks as well. And shout out to the Neighborhood Talk for presenting that information. So with that being said, guys, I will catch you in the next